Hello everyone, welcome to the Pulse Point. On a cold evening in Utah, November 24, 2009, a family adventure turned into one of the most tragic cave accidents in modern history. This is true story of John Edward Jones and how Nutty Putty Cave became his tomb. John was 26 years old, a medical student, a devoted husband, and a father to a 13-month-old daughter. His wife, Emily, was expecting their second children. He loved adventure and exploring nature. That night, he joined his brother Josh and a group of friends to explore Nutty Putty Cave, a muddy, twisting labyrinth about 1350 meters long, 4,400 feet with narrow passages and tight squeezes. The cave sat west of Utah Lake and had been closed for years because of accidents, but reopened with new safety rules. Still, Nutty Putty was notorious for being claustrophobic, muddy, and extremely tight in some areas. The group entered at 8 p.m. The entrance led down into muddy crawlways and twisting passages. In normal condition, it would take about 30 to 40 minutes to crawling from the entrance to reach the section John was heading toward. He was covered a distance of roughly 400 to 500 feet from the main entrance, crawling deeper into the cave. He thought he was entering the Birth Canal Passage, a famous narrow squeeze where cavers must inch through sideways. But instead he had mistaken it for Ed's Bush, a much more dangerous, rarely attempted passage. As Josh slid forward, the rock walls passed closer. The passage was tiny, 18 inches wide, 10 inches high. Just barely enough for a human chest to fit. The tunnel dropped downward at a 70-degree angle, meaning John was sliding in almost headfirst toward the earth. To make progress, he exhaled deeply, squeezing his chest forward. Suddenly, the gravity pulled him down further. His arms were now trapped at his sides, unable to push back. He was stuck completely immobilized, upside down in a space no longer than a coffin. His head was about 400 feet, means 122 meters, from the cave entrance, but there was no way out. His brother Josh tried to help. He tugged at John's leg, but the angle made it impossible. Josh heard John's struggling to breathe. He scrambled back out to get help. The clock was ticking. John had been trapped for only a few minutes, but in that deadly position, even minutes were critical. Blood began rushing toward his head, pressure building in his brain and chest. By midnight, professional rescuers arrived. Over the next 27 hours, more than 130 people, paramedics, firefighters, cave specialists, and volunteers joined the efforts. The cave was so narrow that only one rescue at a time could reach John. They crawled in on their stomachs, lying face down in the dirt to talk to him and try different rescue strategies. They built a pulley system inside the tunnel, drilling bolts into the rock and attaching ropes to John's leg. For a moment, it worked. They managed to pull him nearly 6 to 8 inches upward. Hope filled the air. But the limestone was soft. The anchor ripped out of the wall with a sickening crack. John slid back down deeper than before. His rescuers wept, but they refused to give up. Throughout the ordeal, John remained calm and spoke softly. He prayed with his brother Josh and sang hymns with the rescuers. But being upside down for so long was fatal. In this position, blood pools in the brain, lungs are crushed under the weight of organs. The heart struggles against gravity. Within hours, John felt his chest tightening, his vision fading, his body going numb. Rescuers gave him water and tried to distract him with small talk, but his voice grew weaker. At one point, John said, "The world that broke everyone's heart." I really want to get out. By the evening of November 25, 2009, John had been stuck for nearly 27 hours. His body could not longer fight the pressure. His breathing slowed, his heart faltered, and then in the silence of the cave, it stopped. John Edward Jones was gone. Rescuers faced another impossible decision. Retrieving his body would be too dangerous. The tunnel was too tight, the rock too unstable. Attempting recovery could claim more lives. So Nutty Putty Cave was sealed forever. Tons of concrete were poured into the entrance, turning it into the permanent tomb. Today, John rests 400 feet inside the earth. John Edward Jones' death is remembered as one of the hardest cave tragedies in history. A man of faith, family, and courage, he was surrounded by love.